Hark, fair listeners, and welcome to Stone by Stone, an Edgewater Castle podcast. I'm Lauren Hall, and I am thrilled to be your guide on this episode as we traverse the fair field of football in all its many facets. We'll be uncovering tales, insights, and personal journeys from some truly remarkable souls, and we'll hear how football has become a crucial part of their lives, like a carefully stitched emblem upon a fine, heraldic banner. A most sincere thanks to Tightrope Recording for the top-notch sound engineering, and to you, our most valued listeners. We thank thee for joining us on this grand adventure. So settle in, get some glog in your goblet, and welcome to Stone by Stone. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stone by Stone. My name is Lauren. I'm a member of the ECFC women's soccer team, and we are here with a very special guest. This is Case.
Yes. Hello.
Hi. Thank you for coming today. Really excited to have you. I have so many questions for you.
Okay.
Like, so many questions. First and foremost, we're going to go into your path and your journey into where you are now, but I think a good way to start is by telling everybody what you do for a living now, because that just raises 8 million more questions. Mm-hmm. And then we'll get into how you got there, what it means, and you guys understand once she starts explaining. So tell us what you do.
Okay. Well, I have different answers for different people. So I'll give the plain answer first. If someone just randomly asks me what I do for a living, I normally tell them I play video games for a living, which is like a very simple way to put it, but like that simplifies it way too much. I also work with Manchester City. So I'm a host, I'm a content creator, I'm a live streamer. I work with ESports. I play ESports FC every single day. And so
wait, for people that like me that haven't played like PlayStation games in a very long time, EAFC FIFA. Is FIFA.
Yes, rebranded, but
yes.
FIFA, same exact thing.
Okay, what does it stand for?
FC football club.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
Yes. But essentially all of those things in a bubble kind of work well together. Quit my full-time job to go full-time doing this self-employed type of thing. So,
that is so cool. Okay. So, you are a professional video game player. Obviously, I would assume I would call that a creative field. It's very like the road less traveled. So, let's talk about the road that you traveled to get there.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
I'm sure it was not a straight path, but let's talk about it. Okay.
So,
where are you from?
So I'm actually from the suburbs of Chicago. So I grew up in Downers Grove, Illinois,
Ooh.
And then moved to like Chicago proper when I was 18, and then never moved back. So.
Okay, so you were one of the few people. Actually, I don't know. I also grew up in the suburbs. Is it northwest, south? Is Downers Grove northeast?
Northwest, yep.
So I'm from northwest suburbs as
well.
well.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So you moved to the city.
Yes.
Never looked back.
Yeah.
Why? What did you love about Chicago? Did you grow up coming to Chicago?
Yes, but like not actually seeing it. Like I'd go to the beach, not actually see Chicago. But so I went to DePaul. So that's when I moved. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Absolutely fell in love with it. I didn't know what I wanted from a college, whether it was like a state school. But as soon as I actually went to DePaul, I was like, this is where I want to be. It's not a normal college experience. Like I had an apartment year 2. So.
Yeah, it's wild. You're living in like one of the most beautiful big cities in like very early into your like adulthood.
Yeah.
So did that, I mean, I guess the city probably influenced you a lot in your career and what you ended up doing, but even further behind that, like before college, like growing up with your parents, your family, like did you have siblings?
Yes, I have 2 younger brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So you're the older sister.
Yep.
Okay. And growing up, did you play video games?
I did, yes. No, I played so many video games. So I only have boy cousins as well. And so grew up playing a lot of sports, playing a lot of video games. Like the GameCube is a massive part of my life.
Oh my God,
massive
GameCube. GameCube.
So absolutely loved it. Like this might show my age, but like the demo CD of the original PlayStation had like 4 games on it. And I just like spam those every single day.
I'm pretty sure we're like the same age. So we are speaking the same language here. I was actually trying to figure out all day today what you do for a living and trying to understand it, because I think it is fascinating that there's just completely different like industry and world that you live in, and you've made a living off of something that is recreational to so many people. It's just like It's so cool. So you played video games growing up. Did you also play sports IRL?
Yes. No, that's good. That's good. Yes. So I played a lot of different sports. I played soccer when I was really, really young, but my main sport was actually Taekwondo.
Oh.
So I have 4 black belts in Taekwondo. I was like the alternate for the national team. That was like my life growing up. No, it was it was like everything to me. Yeah.
That's like insane.
Loved it.
So let's talk about that a little bit. What was training like? Was it like every day? Was it how many times a week?
So it was like 6 or 7 days a week, 4 hours a day. No, it was like my
It's like
life.
gymnastics.
Yes. All year round. There's no downtime, no off season. So I just never stopped. Just kicking every single day.
Wow. Okay. So this tells me so much about you already. Like, that's commitment, that's perseverance, that's persistence, that's like time, all of those things. And you're just sorry. I'm having a beer, so I just got a little burpee there. Just like the consistency and the drive to do something like that it also seems like it's kind of a road less traveled. I mean, I wouldn't know much about it because I'm more of a team sport gal, but that's an individual sport, right?
Yeah. So it's 1v1 fighting.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. So you played video games with, I assume, cousins, brothers, friends, and did you just keep playing throughout the time that you got to your career, or did you take a break? Like, is it just always been a consistent thing in your life?
I'd say I didn't play as much in college just because you're in college, you're doing so many different things, probably not sitting behind a TV. I mean, some people obviously
doing homework.
Yes, only homework every single day. But yeah, I pretty much played my entire life, a little bit less in college. But like have had every single PlayStation console throughout the entirety of all 5 of them. And so it's always been something that I enjoy doing just like on the side.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd make a career out of it.
Right.
But it just kind of happened. So.
It's awesome. Talking about college a little bit, what did you study in school?
Psychology. So I have a psych degree.
Yes, I love that. What do you use it? Do you use your degree in your everyday life?
I mean, yes, because psych is,
doesn't everybody?
You learn about how the brain works and how to interact with people, communication, that sort of thing. Obviously, my job is not necessarily directly influenced by it.
What made you choose psychology?
So originally, I wanted to work in occupational therapy. And so I went to school for that. But at DePaul, I worked in the sports department, in the sports marketing department. And so fell in love with sports, just working in sports there.
Yeah.
And so when I graduated, I had 4 years of sports marketing experience. So then I just went into working with sports instead of psychology because I would have had to have done 2 more years.
Yes. Yeah. Schooling never ends, it feels like, for anybody who wants to be in any sort of medical field.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you made those connections through working in school.
Yep.
And did you start with sports marketing like right when you got there?
Yes,
like when you were a freshman, were you I
believe
involved?
It was like month 2. Basketball season was starting preseason, and I just had like a connection there. So started working the basketball season, doing marketing, flyers, all like small little marketing things at the college. And then I never stopped. So all of 4 years, I worked pretty much every single sport that they had there.
Wow. Okay, so there are so many different facets of marketing. It's just interesting how like I think so much of it is just intertwined. Sociology, psychology, advertising, marketing. I'm a musician. I studied advertising. It helps me still to this day. But like, I'm just curious, marketing wise, like what are the different facets that you've gotten into with marketing, at least with when you're working at DePaul, for example?
Yeah, it's interesting because so while I was at DePaul as well, every summer I worked for a marketing agency too. So I did a bunch of different things, whether it was putting on events, the planning going into the events. DePaul, it's a lot of simple marketing. It's like flyers, not anything. It was also 2011, so it was different mindset back then. Like social media wasn't as
it's
dominant.
It's literally different mediums that you're using. They're using print versus social media.
Exactly. So it was a lot of like boots to the ground type of marketing, going around the campus, talking to students, being in the student center, doing stuff with that. But then I also worked game days as well. So whether it was making sure the mascot was in the right space or when the cheerleaders go out, like I cued the team in the tunnel.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
So this obviously attracts a certain personality type. Were you always this outgoing performer, entertainer from the very beginning?
No, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Like if you ask my mom, growing up, I was pretty shy.
Yeah.
I wasn't the person who wanted to be the center of the attention. I wasn't like the class clown. But I think, honestly, it was because of, like, the discipline that I had in Taekwondo. And I was very subdued, very calm all the time. But I didn't really have a social life growing up because I just did Taekwondo all the time.
Yeah,
and so I never
that.
really had the opportunity to be in big groups of people where we're having fun, being myself. Like, I'm always just training. So then I went to college, had these opportunities, was able to, get massive friend groups and stuff like that. So much homework.
So much
homework. And so I think college was when I actually started coming out of my shell, being like, I have a voice. I'm able to, like, use it whenever I want.
Yeah, interesting. I played competitive soccer growing up, and a lot of my weekends and time went to soccer as well. And so, like, high school, I didn't feel like I flourished per se. And I feel like so many people are like, high school was the best time of my life. And I'm like, I didn't go to a party.
Yeah, no.
I feel like you probably had the same experience.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think we're doing too bad.
No, I think we're doing all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so college is when you started to get a little bit more, like, into the marketing and putting yourself out there. I mean, that's a difficult job. Like, it's marketing, and it's also sales.
Yeah.
And event planning, which is crazy that you, like, did all of that at such a young age. And I'm sure that all just led you to where you are now. So post-college, what happened? Tell me about your journey, like, career journey. What was your first job? And just walk us through it all.
So after college, I was actually working retail for Nike. Just while I was, like, trying to figure out
at
where
a Nike store, like a storefront?
Yeah, so Rosemont. So I was in the storefront working there. I loved working for Nike. I think it's, like, very tight-knit, family oriented. Everyone likes sports. Like, we played different games before every shift. Like, it was very, very fun. But again, it was retail. Wasn't what I wanted to do long term.
Retail.
Yeah. So eventually I applied for a Chicago Fire position. It was at the fire pitch. And so I used to run the marketing for everything at the fire pitch. That was my first job outside of college.
Okay, and what year was this?
2016, I believe.
Yeah, we were the same age.
Yeah.
Yay! So you started at the fire pitch.
Yes.
Well, Nike. And then were you doing both simultaneously, or was it
for a little bit? But then I was like, so at first the fire only hired me part-time, and then they saw that I was doing somewhat good, and so they hired me full-time, and then I dropped off Nike. And then I was at the fire pitch for 2 years. Then I was doing hybrid at the front office and the fire pitch. Eventually went full-time at the front office for marketing.
So explain to me the difference between the fire pitch and the front office.
So the fire pitch is just like the external facility. They have the pitches, they have the pub. So I was doing the marketing for that, but nothing like first team related.
I see.
Eventually, I showed an interest and wanted to do like actual first team marketing. And so I worked with the marketing department over, at the time it was Toyota Park. So I drive all the way to Toyota Park a couple days a week. And then eventually I was full-time at Toyota Park.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you started working for the fire.
Yes.
And then what?
So I worked for the fire for 6 years, six seasons.
I believe that's where you met Andrew.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. So I was there for 6 years. Absolutely loved it. Did a lot of stuff there. COVID hit and I had a lot of extra time on my hands. And so I started streaming because I was like, I'm stuck in my house. Let me do that.
Yes.
And so I started doing that. And then it kind of just took off. Didn't expect it to. I was really just doing it for fun. Like I started off playing Animal Crossing.
So, oh my God.
Yeah. Because
I played
was
Animal
nervous.
Crossing on GameCube.
It's so fun. But I just would go on there, just like wholesome little game, Animal Crossing. And eventually people are like, please play FIFA. So I did that.
Why FIFA?
Because I work in soccer, I love soccer, and they knew I played it. But I was honestly so nervous going into that field. One, as a woman. Two, as like, I'm okay at the game, but like, I'm going out there and people are just going to start watching me play and I'm going to get roasted for it. I was terrified. But like Animal Crossing, I'm like, oh, this is so fun. I'm not going to get roasted for it.
The stakes are low.
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, so I was really scared to stream FIFA.
Yeah. So you said you played soccer growing up, but
yes.
like, did you stop at what age did you stop playing?
Well, I was really young.
This is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
You grew up playing Taekwondo. I just said playing. That's how you know I'm a soccer player. Training Taekwondo?
Yeah.
Okay. Was an alternate for the national team. How old were you at that time?
I was 18.
So literally your whole life. And then now you're playing professionally, electronically, I guess what you would say, right? EA, electronically.
Yep.
You're playing esports on a sport that you did not grow up playing, and you know so much about the game.
Yeah.
And all of it, and I know jack shit. Like nothing. I was watching your videos today and I was like,
No
how
idea.
does she know everything?
Well, I'm a big soccer fan. I've always been a soccer fan.
So even growing up, even when you weren't playing, you were still
Watching soccer all the time. Yeah.
So why?
I don't know. It was something about, like, I get bored watching some sports. I get bored watching baseball. I get bored watching American football. But soccer, I was never bored. And, like, it makes me so angry when other people are like, no, soccer's a boring sport. I'm like, you just don't understand what's going on. So I always enjoyed it. I grew up watching the women's national team. I grew up once the Fire came into what it was like 1997. So I was a kid then, but like I always watched the Fire, went to games.
Oh my gosh, I remember those.
Yeah.
Those days. Ole, 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 ole.
But yeah, I've always been a fan. So
Okay. That's so interesting. I love that. I love when people like don't play a sport and they're still super invested in it. It makes me really happy.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of our fans at Edgewater, actually, which I'm just like, why are you watching us? I love when people show passion for just like, anyways, it's just me nerding out about that stuff. So you found, the question here is, when did you first fall in love with soccer? And that's when you were playing it, I guess, but then growing up. How did you stay involved in like, what was your involvement in soccer? Like, were you just like doing your own research? Like, what really got you into like the love and the passion for the game?
Yeah, like, so I used to watch it, but then in high school, I went to Toyota Park and I watched a U.S. men's game, and I saw what's the avid fan group for U.S. men's team. Whatever.
You're asking the wrong
Anyways, it's like the
girl.
crazy fans. It's like the ultras of.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
like, there's a name for them, but I'm blanking on it. Anyways, I went to one of those games and I was like, this is really, really cool. So I just continued to watch through there. College hit, and I had some friends who were interested in football overseas, which I had never really like dabbled in it because I was like, that's happening over there. Don't really know. But eventually, they were like, you need to pick a Prem team, and so I did a bunch of research. I'm like,
She sees my eyes just going like,
when I like something, I like fully dive in.
I love that.
So like I did all the research, and I had heard of Pep Guardiola, and I read this article about him, and it was like something about his attention to detail, and I was obsessed with his mindset. And so I was like, I know he did great things at Barcelona, did great things at Bayern. Now he's at Man City.
This is a coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I fully thought you were talking about a player for the first half of this conversation.
Pep Guardiola, manager.
Oh, I think I know actually who you're talking about. Because I feel like I see interviews about him all the time.
Yeah.
Like he's just like a character.
He's great.
Okay, so you followed a coach.
Yeah, which is weird to say, but then I started watching Man City, fell in love with those players, watching them play, and I also love light blue. So then I became obsessed with Man City, and so I kind of became a super fan of them, and they were my obsession from college onward.
Wow. Okay, so there's so much to get into. Like, okay, so we dabbled a little bit on a few topics when you were talking about this. So like COVID, streaming. Let's talk about that. Everything moved online. All right. So like I did a bunch of like virtual concerts when I started, and like my setup was not great. What was your setup like?
Not great. Like I was on my couch. I had my MacBook. I think I had like one of the Logitech cameras because I didn't want to use my MacBook camera, and I think I was using my headphones mic, and
Like
that's all I
one
had.
of these. Oh, like
No, like the Apple headphone, like a Apple headphone. So it was not good. I had nothing, but I've like gotten a lot of stuff over time, which is good.
Well, yeah, I would hope so. And I see the quality of your videos; they're pretty freaking awesome. Do you edit your video? This is a sidebar a little bit, but do you edit all of your stuff yourself? Yeah. Oh, okay, so you're also a video editor. She's all in one, folks. So streaming. Twitch streaming.
Yes.
It is such an interesting concept for me. No lo entiendo. I don't understand. I don't get it. Tell me, like, do people just I mean, during COVID times especially, like, we felt all so alone. Like, I assume that's part of the appeal is, like, feeling like you're just, like, I listen to podcasts. We're recording a podcast. I feel like I'm in the room with someone. Is that the appeal?
I think so. So the people that watch me, in my opinion, while they're watching me, one, they like the game. Two, they somewhat think I'm funny. I guess.
It's a personality.
Yeah. No, you have to have some sort of a person. It's two different roads. Either you are the best person at the game and they're learning from your gameplay.
Yes.
Or your personality is good enough to like obviously watch the gameplay
Yeah.
plus like stick around.
It's like you're hanging out with a friend.
Yeah, and even though like they're typing in a chat and I might not know what they look like, I know all of them. I know like where they're from. I mean, as long as they tell me, but like, so
I know all of you.
every single one of them. No, but like the community's fantastic that I've cultivated throughout the years. But it's not just them watching me play FC. We also do watch parties for like Man City games, for U.S. Women's National Team games.
I mean, yeah, it seems like your career has just like blossomed.
Yeah.
That's like the beautiful thing about like working in such an area that's not really like, I guess the word would be unprecedented. Like there's not a lot of rules and like there's just so many possibilities. So like it did start with streaming, and then like I assume all these other opportunities started coming your way. Like at what point during your streaming career did you start to like get more interest, and like how fast did it grow? What was your media? I was Twitch, I assume.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so Twitch, but I would make short form content and everything else to like push people to Twitch.
Right.
I'd say, so I was partnered, like verified on Twitch within 3 months, which is fairly fast because you have to average 75 viewers a stream. And so
And how often were you streaming?
at the time, like 4 or 5 days a week. So I would do my 9 to 5 and then I'd come home and stream from 7 to 11 plus game days on the weekend. So I was really tired. I was really, really tired
We
for 2
had
years.
like nothing else to do too, but then like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And so
That's where the Taekwondo training comes in handy.
yes. So then I did I did both for 2 years.
Yeah.
Eventually I was being offered opportunities to travel and like do things that I had to turn down because I had a full-time job. So I couldn't just like
This was
continue.
when you were with the Fire as well.
Yes.
Were
Yes.
you doing this remotely?
Yeah. So I was doing both. Yeah. So I was doing everything and then I had to start turning things down and I was like, maybe I need to make a decision here. Eventually, Man City approached and they're like, we want to work with you.
Man City,
long-term.
like
the Premier League club
in England,
in England. Yes.
reached out to you.
Yes.
And was like,
We want to work with you. We want you to be a creator for us. We want you to do hosting with us. And honestly, like I thought about it because one, quitting my full-time job, I'm losing all of my healthcare. I'm losing all my benefits, everything, right?
Girl,
because you're working with a team in England.
preaching
They're
to
not
the
going to give me
choir.
that.
Yes.
And so I was like debating everything. Can I pay my rent? Can I do all of that? You know? Because I was
Again,
very comfortable at the Fire.
And like it is such an unprecedented career path. You're like, how long is this gonna last? How much money can I actually make? Like,
Yeah. And every month is so different in terms of income. Like 1 month I'll make one thing and the next month 10 times that.
Yeah.
And like budgeting is very, very difficult.
so
But
let's not talk about even taxes.
oh, it's horrible. Horrible.
I'm
That's right around the corner, by the way.
I
So-
know I'm it's so hard. Yeah, it's difficult. But what gave you that final push?
Honestly, it was Man City. So they were able to offer me a contract for at least a year. And I was like, all right, let me prove myself for a year.
Wow.
And then what they were able to offer at least paid my rent.
Wow,
And so
yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I'm able to live off this. Let's like try to make it happen. Because at that time, I had nothing else besides the Man City contract. And I kind of just jumped into it. But like before I was able to do that, I was turning down so many opportunities. So I was like, okay, I'm actually going to be able to say yes.
With other places. So like with like other opportunities that didn't have to do with Man City?
Yeah, it's like sponsored opportunities,
Yeah.
working with ESports. Like Bundesliga flew me out afterwards. Like there was a bunch of different opportunities that I was actually able to say yes to, and they're all paid.
And so now you're opening yourself up to an entirely different world of like opportunity.
yes, plus streaming way more, being able to edit all of my own stuff on my own time whenever I want, and so I was able to full time go content creation and hosting, which was pretty cool.
What year was that?
That is a great question. Maybe 2021. 2021?
Yeah, I can't like
think.
recall any of the years after COVID
I know.
between like COVID
Like,
and
what
now.
year is it?
I'm like, I don't even know. Yeah. So how long had you been streaming? Like 2 years
Yeah,
at that point?
maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah.
I was gonna ask a question about the Fire, but I guess the question is like, was it a tough transition? I'm sure they were sad to lose you.
Yeah. I think I was ready.
Yeah. It's like you're doing all of it at once and then you can like finally breathe again.
Yes.
I had a very, very similar path. I was working at a credit union when I moved back to Illinois from LA. And then I started like gigging, and then I thought I was just going to be like here and there. And then it just got more and more. And then I was like, wasn't sleeping because I was doing all of it, like the 9 to 5 and then working at night. And then I was just like, I mean, like, just go for it. So when I decided to go full time, my friends, I mean, like, being a musician is a little bit less unprecedented than what you're doing, although it is still, like, very, like, mystified. People are like, what does it mean to be a full-time musician? We're like, the people around you in your community and your friends and your family, like, what the hell are you doing? Or were they all, like, on board?
Different reactions. My family 100% supported me. Actually, so you recently had Jamie Chin on the podcast, and so he was the first person that I showed the email to of the offer from Man City, and we were literally in the office together, and I showed him, and he was like, you're doing it, right? And I was like, oh gosh. And so he's one of the first people as well that supported it. But then there were people who I didn't know as well that I heard later on, they're like, yeah, she quit her job to go play video games.
I mean, it's called jealousy.
So mixed, but everyone that I cared about was supportive of it.
Yeah, and I'm sure they all watched you literally create, you literally created a job for yourself from the ground up, which is incredible and tiring. And they probably watched you be tired and were like, thank God. It was just like being full time and having that time to do all those things that you were talking about. Like, were you just able to like breathe?
Yeah, no, it was so, I slept until 10, like one of the first couple days, and I was like, I can do that whenever I want. Yeah. And like, I do the content when I want to do it. I'm not forced to do it when I get home after driving. And like, for a long time, I was driving to SeatGeek, and that was an hour as well. So I'm like, I'm wasting an hour driving. I could be doing all this extra stuff and like furthering my, whatever I want to do outside of work. And so, yeah, I was able to breathe. It was fantastic.
I love that. Is this something that you ever pictured yourself doing?
Absolutely not. Like, absolutely not.
Do you know, like that new social media trend of like, I had coffee with my younger self. Yeah. What, like, would your younger self think about what you're doing right now?
I'm pretty sure my younger self would be like, oh, are you a teacher? And I'd be like, nope. I play video games and I work with a team in Manchester. And she'd be like, I don't understand.
Wow, dude. Like, it's just, okay, so you're working with a team in England. That brings its own challenges, I assume.
Yep.
Like, are you going back and forth between England and here?
Often, yeah. Pretty much every month I go to England for something.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Do you love it there?
Yes, but I wouldn't want to live there.
Okay.
I don't think.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The England hate is real here. Just kidding.
It's just really cloudy.
It is so
really cloudy.
Dark there. It's like Seattle all the time. Mm-hmm. Where's Man City?
Manchester.
Okay, that's embarrassing. I also asked a professional Chicago Fire player where their games were in the last episode, so we're doing great here, guys. I don't know where Manchester is. There's Man U and Man City.
Yes, but we don't like Manchester
Are they both
United.
In the same?
Yes.
So Chicago White Sox,
yeah.
Chicago Cubs.
Yes.
Okay. You're speaking my language here. Okay, got it. So what were some of the initial challenges you faced when you were first starting out in streaming? And I guess, like, I mean, we could talk about when you first started streaming, when you weren't, like, doing it professionally. It's so cool. But, like, when you did go full-time.
Biggest challenge, I'd say, is there's like no women in the space. And
yeah, we're going to talk about that a little more. Honestly, just dive into it.
Yeah, no, it's honestly throughout the 5 years that I've been doing it, it's every single day that I'm seeing something, whether it's a comment on Instagram, someone comes into my stream. I've probably gotten told to get back into the kitchen like hundreds of times.
Make that sandwich, girl.
Yeah, make it. Yeah. So that is the number one thing. I just wish that there were more of us in the space that did it. Like, I can count on one hand how many women content creators are in the FC space.
Yeah.
So,
like, percentage wise, because I don't know how many there are total, but like, what would be the percentage you think
of content creators?
Female in the FC, in the EA FC.
I mean,
space.
Women who play the game, it's hard to tell because they're not public facing doing it. I honestly have no idea who actually play, but in terms of people who are on camera doing it, 2%, maybe.
That's crazy.
Maybe. Like, there's barely anyone doing it. And so that in itself is an issue. I could post a video, and then a guy can post the same exact video, and I'm going to get comments about things, calling me out for things that just because I'm a woman, but then they laugh at it if the dude posted it.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time.
Of course.
And so it's just all of the time. And now it's like, I don't care anymore. But at first I was like, oh boy, do I want to do this?
That's what I was going to say. So how do you handle that from the beginning to now? So, and I'm sure it has evolved.
The biggest thing, so on Twitch, we have moderators, which is fantastic. So there's people in there reading the chat and deleting things even before I can see them, which is very nice. Because as much as you don't want to let a comment affect you, if you read it, it's still in your head, and it's like still, whether or not you put on a fake face, it's still like in there.
Yep.
And so having them there to like moderate everything and take everything away really, really does help and like cultivate community. Because also, I don't want a girl being in my chat being able to see it at all either, because even though the comment is directed at me, any woman playing the game or even someone who likes soccer is going to see that and be like,
discouraging.
Right. And so I don't want to have any type of community that doesn't feel safe, even just sitting there, even if they're just like lurking and not typing or doing anything, even they're just watching the stream. I want them to feel comfortable, much less me, right? So being able to make sure that it's a safe space at all times is the number one priority, and I think that's the only reason I've been able to do it throughout all of these years.
Cultivating a community is fun and also scary and also difficult. What would you say your, like, if I was talking about Case's Army fandom, do you have a fandom name?
No.
Okay, well, we need to come up with one. What would you say it consists of? Like, what type of people do you feel like are attracted to you that you're meeting or talking to?
Yeah, I mean, it's a group of people that, first of all, love soccer, are obsessed with soccer. They also love video games. But, like, there's a fine line between banter and just, like, hateful or rude messages. We joke a lot. And I love banter. I love messing around with people. But, like, we all know the line. And so it's, like, a jokey space, but, like, a comfortable jokey space.
Lighthearted.
Yeah.
Yeah, with clear boundaries.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. And do you think that there's like, is it a lot of, I mean, so you're talking about the people that are in front of a camera streaming, not a lot of females.
Correct.
What about watching your streams?
There's definitely more men that watch.
Yeah.
I wish there are more women. It also, there's no way to know as well. Like, there's a name in the chat. Unless they tell me that they're a dude or a girl, like, I don't know. There are some women, and I think that more women watch me than watch the dudes. But that there are more women. I mean, there's more men, but there's also just more men playing the game and interested in the game.
Yeah.
But I also think that the more that we come out and start playing it, the more they're going to play, and it's just going to be like a domino effect.
Absolutely.
So that's the hope, to be honest.
Yeah. So when you first started streaming and you became professional, how new was this space? Like, how new was this, like, career possibility for anybody?
Honestly, I wish I did it earlier, because even with like my age, I was like, am I too old to do this?
Oh my God.
I know. It's not, it's like, I hate that I think it, but like, it's also,
I think it literally every day.
There's so many kids that are starting when they're 16 years old and then able to like develop their platforms, and they have millions of followers by like 18.
I thought you were Gen Z.
Oh.
So if you want to take that as a compliment, I literally was talking to Tom and Andrew before this, and I was like I said, I was trying to figure out what you do so I can fully understand it. Like, I get the concept. I just want to like fully take it all in, because you do a lot. You wear many hats. Yeah. Like, I feel like millennials, like, we grew up with it. Yeah, like, we grew up with all of like the game consoles, but like streaming and all that stuff feels very Gen Z to me. I think it's refreshing to have someone like our age in that space, because we might be a little bit more enjoyable to watch, is all I'm going to say. I'm not going to bash Gen Z here.
I stand by that.
But, you know, it's nice to have, I mean, it's more relatable. Like, I don't understand TikTok fully. You have a lot of followers on TikTok.
Decent amount.
I think TikTok and Twitch are like hand in hand.
Yeah.
But like, it is refreshing for me to see someone like me doing something like this that seems so like cool and technological and like, I mean, you're like editing all of these videos and it's just like, it's impressive to me.
Thanks.
Millennials can do it too.
It's true.
We can. And like, did you build your setup on your own? Like, how did you learn how to do any of this? Was this like DIY?
Some of it, yes. A lot of it's like watch YouTube, figure it out on my own. My brother is really technologically savvy.
You do have the younger brothers.
Yes. He is 25.
Oh, yes.
So we've got a little bit of an age gap, and so he does know. He also went to school for cybersecurity, so like he knows computers really well. So he built my computer, and then I built everything around it.
I don't even know what that means.
He literally, every piece of my computer he built.
He built like the
motherboard and all of that fun stuff. Yeah.
Thing. And then you did all the accessories.
Yes. So like mic, webcam, like I have a 4 monitor setup.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
do you have like a dungeon in your apartment?
No, it's actually my dining room. So no one can sit at my dining room table because it's actually my setup now.
I love that so much. I love that so much. Do you only stream solo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Has anybody ever wanted to stream with you? Like,
well, actually, so I have had one person on my stream, Sean Wright Phillips. He used to play for Man City. They were here for, I know,
name drop,
slight flex. But they were here for the Man City Trophy Tour, and they were like, "Do you want him to come in your stream?" I was like, "Do you mean he's gonna come into my apartment in Chicago?" My 1-bedroom apartment. They're like, yes. I was like, okay, let me go clean.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so he came on my stream. We played a little bit of FC, and that was it was really
was
fun.
that crazy?
Yes.
Oh my
because I
God.
also have a small like 1-bedroom apartment, and they brought like a whole squad of people, so it was like 10 people in the other room while the 2 of us are just like streaming. That was good though.
That's so cool. I love that. I mean, like, I'm just such a huge advocate for anybody like creating a career out of a passion, and like especially women, and in this space, because it is so, I was about to say women in STEM is I don't think that makes sense, but that's like a thing people say, right? Gen Z. Okay. But like, did this ever feel like, was there anybody in your life that you think that you looked up to? I mean, it could be like family members, friends, colleagues, or even like celebrities that you've looked up to that have like given you the confidence or the ideas to do what you're doing right now?
So my number one role model in my life is my mom.
Go mom.
No, I love her. She is absolutely fantastic. She is one of the like strongest women that I've ever met, and like every single time where I'm like, I have this idea, or like I want to do this, she's always saying yes. She's never second guessing it or thinking of like being the devil's advocate, the other side of it. She's always like yes. And so she's been a part of this journey 100%. When I started at the Fire, she got season tickets. Like when I started with Man City, she became a Liverpool fan because she just wanted to like be involved and like have that conversation. And so she has consistently, no matter what I've done, been a part of the journey. And having someone as like that backbone, able to like throw ideas to, or even just like if I'm upset about something, like after a stream, I'm always calling her. I'm like, did you see that happen? She's in my chat.
Does
like,
she watch your streams?
Every day. Every single day. So I'll call her and be like, did you see what that one guy said? She'll be like, no, don't worry about it.
We do not deserve moms.
Yeah, but she is the number one person. She's the reason why I'm able to do all of this. 100%.
Wow. I mean, I do think that's such a huge point to make, is like having someone that is just like encouraging you to just go for things your whole life. My mom was the same way. Both my parents are the same way. Like, has given me the confidence to really go for it. And like, that's amazing to hear that you have a mom like that. And was she with you in Taekwondo a lot too?
So she actually did Taekwondo as well. Yeah.
She got you into Taekwondo?
We all started at the same time. I was the only one that actually took it serious and competed at a high level.
You guys started it together?
Our whole family did. So between all of us, we have 18 black belts. Yeah. But yeah, so I was the one that competed.
Do not mess with her family. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, she likes to be fully involved in everything that we do, which is really cool.
They're all just dabbling, and Casey's like, hold up. Let me get on the national squad. It's fine. Like, what the hell? Okay, so Case, tell me about your Twitch. Is your Twitch handle and TikTok handle and Instagram all the same?
Yes.
Of course it is, because she's a marketing genius. Tell us what it is, and then tell us what it means, or how you came up with it.
So it's Shy Case. So Shy is short for Chicago.
I think I know the answer to this.
And then Case is short for my actual name. But Chicago, so I fight with people a lot because people have ideas about Chicago that are just completely wrong. Like, my heart bleeds Chicago.
Yeah.
I have it tatted on my arm, like it says Shy. I love this city with a burning passion. And it's often hard they're like, why do you love it? And I find a hard time putting it to words because it's just like a feeling. It's everything. It's the sports, it's the people, it's the vibe, it's like the beauty of the city. The winter sucks, but like besides that, I still love this city.
You have to understand the shittiness of the winter to understand the beauty of everything else.
Yes, 100%. And so that's the Shy part.
Yeah.
And then my name. So yeah.
Has it always been your name? Did you switch it around a little bit?
No, that was it from the start.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so everybody knows, like, Chicago is part of your personality. It's part of your brand. It's part of everything. Like, I love to see someone have pride in the city. Like, I've lived in other cities as well, in other states, obviously. And it's something, I mean, Chicago feels like home, even though I grew up in the suburbs as well. Like, the suburbs of Chicago are not the same as the city.
Correct.
At all.
Like, very different.
At all. The city of Chicago rocks. I love it so much. I'm so happy to see you, like, represent it for people, and you're representing it also, like, internationally, which is so cool. So tell me about, like, we touched a little bit on, like, you going back and forth between England and here. Like, you're not, so you wear all these little hats that I was talking about, not little hats, actually, like, very big hats, but, like, all these hats that you wear, like, what are they? Like, tell me all the hats that you wear. Like, I know the titles, kind of. Tell us the titles, but also tell us what it means.
So many hats. So live streamer is one of them, obviously. Mm-hmm. Host. So I have hosted events upwards of 400 people, whether it's a Champions League watch along in New York, or we just had a Man City versus Manchester United watch along here in Chicago for the trophy tour. But I'm like the girl on the mic, hyping people up, doing chants, all of that, which is crazy because, like, as a kid I was really shy. So the fact that I'm able to go on a stage and even do that,
I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know how. And I think the more I did it, the more comfortable I became.
Yeah.
It's also very different being in front of a webcam and just being able to be your goofy self. But as soon as you're in front of actual people doing it, it's like a whole different situation.
Yes.
I also host and do, like, reporting and analysts for, like, the actual pro scene of FC. So I fly over to England and do that. So that's EAFC Pro. And we, like, do play-by-play and commentary of their gameplay. And I do interviews and that kind of thing. I do content with the actual Man City players, like making funny videos or something like that.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah,
like,
there's so many different things. It's kind of hard to encompass all of it.
It's awesome. It's awesome because there's never the same day twice.
Yeah.
It's exciting, and I'm sure new, different opportunities are always coming your way, and I'm so excited that you've taken that leap, even though it was, 2-3 years ago now? Mm-hmm. It kind of flew by, huh?
Yeah, it really did.
But you have that, like, time and flexibility to be able to do those things, which is really exciting, because I'm sure it was very hard to say no to those things when you were still trying to figure out what you wanted to do. Yeah, that's fair. So when we talked about your shift in career, what were the biggest risks that you took when you decided to really dive right in?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is probably money. Like we talked about, I was just worried that I was getting paid nothing in comparison to when I had a full-time job.
Yeah.
Healthcare is it's so annoying. Like, I want to bang my head up against a wall, genuinely. That's another one. Also just, like, the perception, because when you meet someone, they're like, oh, what do you do? If you say, oh, I'm a lawyer, they're like, okay. But, like, having to explain to people is quite the process, and most people don't get it.
Yeah.
And then they also judge you for it,
Yep.
thinking that it's not a long-term thing. But in reality, like, I want to do this for as long as I possibly can. And so just like being in a field that people don't truly understand is quite the conversation, I think.
Yes. I can't even imagine the things that people say. I mean, you're just hitting the tip of the iceberg today with me where I'm like, what does this mean? But like, I'm sure like the older generation is like, what in the effing F are you talking about?
Yeah.
But it's okay. You're paving your own path.
We're making it work.
Yeah. And I mean, as technology advances, if you really want to go there, I'm sure things will just open up more and more for you.
Hopefully.
But Chicago, you're staying here.
Yes.
We're not going to lose you to England.
No. I've had multiple people ask me to move there because I have a lot of gigs over there and they have to pay for my flight. And they're like, it would be so much easier if you lived here. But like...
No, you can keep flying me out. It's fine.
But like, I truly love this city so much. And it is now a part of my identity. And like, I live in Humboldt Park. I absolutely love it. And like, my family's also here. So I have no intentions of leaving, and I fully just want to like put on for my city as much as possible. Also because in this field, content creation or like influencer things, Chicago is not in the conversation at all. It's LA, it's New York,
yeah,
Miami.
It's not enough.
No,
but I have seen the pattern of LA influencers and all those people. I have seen a group of them moving to Chicago and seeing how much of a gap there is. And I think we're the best kept secret.
We are. Honestly, it is the best city in the world, and there's no
I will
ifs, ands,
stand
or
by
buts about it.
I stand by that as well. Like I haven't traveled that much. I mean, I've gone some places, and Chicago will always stand out to me. I mean, the best of everything. What is your favorite part about Chicago? What are your top three favorite parts about Chicago? It could be anything.
All right. Food is on the list.
I knew it. That was going to be my thing. Yeah.
It has to be food. I love how I can go in different neighborhoods and it feels completely different, but like also feel at home in all of the same way. The diversity of the city, I absolutely love. The music is fantastic. There's always something to do, but it also doesn't feel too much. Like LA feels too much. New York feels too much. But Chicago's like, it's small, but it's big.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
we're the second city.
But like also second to none.
Correct. That's why I'm like, I will keep it at second city so that no one like that doesn't deserve to be here comes. But like, yeah, I feel so like I'm comforted.
Yes.
Here. And maybe it's because we were, born nearby-ish. But like, there's just something about this city that is like so close knit, neighborhood wise. Like I live in Logan Square. We're neighbors. Yeah. And I love Logan. I love Humboldt. Like all those little areas, totally different vibes.
Yep.
Always cool. And I mean, you can go any different neighborhood and get different types of food too. What's your favorite Chicago food?
Mexican probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good call. Oh, shoot. I was going to ask you this question. I had a really good question. Oh, Chicago. on the Chicago road. The Chicago soccer community. Are you involved? I'm going to assume that's a yes.
Yes. So I used to play on a co-ed team.
At the Fire Pitch?
Yes. Haven't played. So my team disbanded because people moved away. So I haven't played on a co-ed team in a while. But me and my mom were season ticket holders for the Fire. We actually canceled our season tickets and we are now Red Star season ticket holders.
She got so uncomfy.
I'm so excited though. But no, I'm so excited to actually be Red Star season ticket holders. So that's what we're doing this year.
The Stars.
Yes.
Not the Red Stars anymore.
I have to get that in my head.
I know, I didn't know that either.
But me and my mom took a vow this year that we are going to do as much women's sports things as humanly possible.
Yay.
So that's where we're putting our money this year. And so we decided to go with the Stars, and then we'll go to probably a couple Sky games here and there.
Will you be attending any Edgewater women's soccer team?
Yes, games? And my mom would absolutely love it as well, so I'll bring her with.
I hear, I'm not going to share the details yet, but I hear our game day experience is going to be even more elevated this year.
Okay.
Can't share the details.
All right.
But it's just gotten like bigger and better every year. And we played at the Fire Pitch last year, and it was crazy to me. Like, I played Division I soccer. I played for the Honduran national team. I went to so many different stadiums and fields and saw so many different like game day experiences, like growing up, early 20s, back in the good old days. And I never thought that I was going to be able to recreate that experience in my 30s. And I was wrong. Joining Edgewater, which I had no idea existed until like maybe my second year in Chicago, through a team on the like a co-ed team at the Fire Pitch. Like, I just found out about Edgewater, and like it's just crazy, the fandom, the people, all the things that go into it. Like, well, all this to say is that I don't think our game day will disappoint you. The games are super competitive. Like, I am very excited to see you at the games.
I'll be there. I promise.
You and your mom.
Yes.
What is your mom's name?
Kim.
She's
lovely.
Okay, we will see you at our games. What other ways are you connected through the Chicago soccer community?
Those are probably the biggest ones. Like, I'll go to events. Like, recently went to Saturday's football for an event there, and so
what is that?
It's they sell vintage kits.
Oh yes,
it's really cool.
I've seen that on Instagram.
So they throw a couple events throughout the year. Because like soccer is so great because it's like the intersection of everything, whether it's fashion, music, and so everything's kind of connected. If that makes sense. It's a culture. It is. It actually really is.
Yeah, it really is. I know, like, it's so fascinating to see how soccer has grown in American culture specifically. Like, I mean, we do live in a city that, like, I think really loves soccer in general, like more than a lot of other cities do, because we are just so diverse. It's just so fun to see people wearing, like, people that are not in the soccer scene wearing soccer jerseys. Yeah. And like, I don't know how much they know about soccer, but it just makes me happy
but I still love it.
to see the representation.
Yeah.
I was talking with Andrew and Tom before this about our lovely producers, and I was talking about my experience playing FIFA. So I grew up playing soccer IRL, and then a bunch of my friends that were totally like not into soccer, like football players, baseball players, like softball, whatever sport, like I don't know when, or they started playing FIFA. Yeah. And they got super into it, and were like, they knew all of the players and all these things, and they're still super into it. And it's been really fun to watch people that I never thought would be into soccer. Yeah. Really like dive into it.
Well, it's interesting because last year was the first year that they added women into Ultimate Team. So Ultimate Team
last year?
Yeah. No, it's kind of blows my mind. But it's interesting because the entire FIFA community now knows every single women's footballer, but like they didn't know them before. So like Ballon d'Or list came out last year, and I saw a guy tweet. He was like, the year before, I couldn't name one woman on this list. I now know what position every single woman on this team plays, what team they play for, what country they're from, because of this game. And so it's kind of crazy that a game like that is able to influence such a massive community into actually knowing anything about women's football.
I didn't know any professional players before I played FIFA, and I would always play with the Classic 11, and I would still lose. Every single game. I'm not good at FIFA.
I'll teach you.
I don't want to play against you. I don't know. Do you so you said you weren't very good at FIFA to start?
Yeah, I've gotten way better. Yeah, I've gotten
Is it
better.
About being good? You said it's about being good and really also about the personality.
I'm really competitive, so I hate losing. And like, I have a bit of a temper when I lose.
I'm not surprised by this. Us Chicago women.
And so I really dislike losing. And I would say that I'm better than the majority of people that just play the game. But there's like pros, and I'm not at like the...
But you are a pro.
It is my profession. But
that means you're a pro?
Yes, technically. But there are definitely people who are way better than me because they're at like the top, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. But you're still pro. Don't ever sell yourself short on that. So so you work for Man City, or you're under contract for Man City. You're under contract. I saw your video doing the little signing thing. That was really cool. Are there a lot of content creators for each team?
No. So I would say that City probably do the best job in the world at doing that. It's them and like RB Leipzig, which is kind of a random team to do really well at it. But like,
where is that?
Germany.
Okay, that makes sense.
They play in Bundesliga. But yeah, so only certain teams throughout the world actually see the longevity in esports and like that, which is great because I do think like long term it actually is going to stick around.
Grow.
Yeah. EMLS, so that's like MLS's E version. They do sign players, but probably not as much like budget and investment as Man City.
So are you a player? You're like a player. I'm thinking athlete, player. Like my brain is going in other ways right now. But yes, you're a player. You're a video game player.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm showing my my lack of knowledge in this space right now. But yeah, that makes sense. Video game player. Okay. Wow. It's just so fast. It's just so cool to me. Like, you literally signed with a team. And how many people are on the team? On Man City.
So there's currently, they actually have Fortnite team as well, but with FC, there's 4 of us. 2 of them that compete at like the highest level, and then me and another guy who are like.
Case, that's incredible.
It's pretty cool.
This is like a very small, like, opportunity, like, it feels like, and you were just like in there.
I mean, it works because I'm actually a City fan as well. Because people ask me when I, like, later on after I sign, they're like, oh, you only watch them and support them because you're signed with them.
It's your job, yeah.
But, like, I actually was a fan, and that's why it, like, works. Because it's organic, it's authentic. And plus, like, I'm in North America, so they're reaching a whole nother audience as well. So it kind of just worked out really well.
Are most of your people in North America? Or are they in
It's
England?
pretty split, to be honest. So I normally live stream at 5 p.m., which is, like, late for UK, but gamers are up late anyway.
Yeah.
So it's probably split half and half between here and UK.
Wow. Cool. Okay, so a few more questions for you, and I swear to God, we're almost done. Actually, just maybe one more question. Okay. What advice would you give to aspiring streamers or content creators who are looking to break into the industry?
Ooh. I would say do it in whatever free time that you have possible until you're able to feel confident enough to like fully dive in. Also, make sure that you're repurposing all the hard work that you do on one platform on everything else, because you're able to push yourself out there and get more people to the one platform that you want. If you only stream on one device and one thing, you're only reaching an X amount of people, and honestly, like, wasting all of those amazing moments that you have. And so making sure that you're repurposing all of that. And also, like, don't try to be another creator, because that's just not going to come off well. Like, if you see, at the time when I first started off, a guy named Castro was the biggest streamer for FIFA. And at one point I was like, I need to like do this because he did that. And I was like, why am I doing that? Because that isn't me. So don't ever just try to be anyone else, because people are going to like you for you. And that's the only thing that's going to, make you go far in anything. And so, I mean, that sounds corny, like, be yourself. But
no, amen.
Just don't try to copy other people.
No one will ever be as good at being you as you. And like, it's great to have role models and people to look up to, but you just take a little bit of each person and then you just jumble it up and it makes you.
Yeah.
And you are unique in your own way, and that's why people follow you, and that's why people enjoy watching your streams. How long are your streams?
Between like 3 and 6 hours, depending on like how hyped the game is, if that makes sense. Like, when the game first comes out, I'm putting in at least like 6-hour shifts.
Oh my God, this is so cool. Well, I don't know about you guys. I have never gotten into watching Twitch streams of video games before, but I am definitely going to be checking one out. I feel like I can just like put you on my TV and just like do my chores and feel like I'm hanging out with Case, playing FIFA. Maybe I'll learn a little something about players and stuff.
All the things.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. This was really fun.
It was like, I have learned so much, and thank God for Andrew just like making connections with the coolest people, and I'm really glad Andrew slithered his way into your heart.
Yes.
For all those years. And we're really excited to have you at our Edgewater games.
Yes, I will be there. I promise. Me and my mom.
Supporting women's sports. I have one more thing to say. Look at her nails. Did you do those yourself?
The press-ons. They're cool, right?
They're giving Billie Eilish.
Yes.
I love it.
I love them.
You matched your hat.
Yeah.
With
it was
your
coordinated.
press-ons.
Yes.
What?
And the kit. There's green in the kit as well.
And the kit.
Yes.
Yeah, your fits are unmatched.
Thank you.
Really.
I was cold, so I kept the jacket on, but
The shoes too.
yeah.
I used to wear those. Good times. Thank you guys so much for watching, and check out Case on literally any platform that you want. It's Chai.
Yes. CHI_KACEE.
KACEE. Great. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
Bye.
Ahoy there! Thank you for listening to Stone by Stone, an Edgewater Castle podcast. Be sure to listen to our next episode, or better yet, subscribe to our channels on YouTube, where you can find video versions of our episodes, Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere else you get your podcast fix. We'll have a lot of exciting new content coming up throughout the year, and we want you to stay along for the ride. In fact, you should probably just follow us on all social media platforms also. You know, just to be safe. And with that, I leave you be. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for supporting the club, listening to the podcast, and as per usual, go Rooks.